It was the time of the three kingdoms in ancient China. The warring kingdoms fought countlessly for supremacy, but only one warrior rose above the rest. A master horseman, brilliant tactician, fearless leader, and a master of the Tao Lu, a specialized halberd meant to take down other horsemen. His name was Guan Yu. As a mortal, he was almost unbeatable. There was not a single king of the three kingdoms who did not want him on their side. Not a single warlord who wanted him leading their armies. Feared and respected by everyone. But now as a god, he's so much more. Say your prayers for the saint of war, to the saint of the war, and make way. Welcome to Knoweth God, Knoweth Thy God. In this section today is gonna be Guan Yu, and in case you didn't already know by now, I'm your host, Ravage Roo. So we're gonna be going over the saint of war, the Chinese warrior. Now, the one thing you want to know is with Guan Yu is that he's a warrior, and as such, he's gonna be a supplement to your front line as far as backing up your support. Being the second one to enter in most cases, and in some cases, probably the one leading the charge, depending on what kind of garden you got going. Now, know that he's also got great support skills. He's decent crowd control, and a very straightforward and simple kit. Now, he's listed as easy for one of the two warriors that you have access to as a new player to learn. The other one requires a little more finesse, and we'll be covering over her later. Anyways, so let's start off with the first one of the two warriors you can start off with. So we're going to start off with his abilities, and then we're going to head to the practice arena to show you a slight demonstration on how to play him. Now, for his passive, it's called Painless. Now, every time Guan Yu deals or takes damage, he gains a stack. The stack hits 20. Once it hits max stacks, all of your abilities would have gain boosted effects. Now, as long as you stay in combat, it will. As long as you're dealing damage or taking damage, you will maintain those stacks. But once you stop taking damage or dealing damage for 5 seconds, the stacks falls off completely, so forcing you to build your stacks again. So, Guan Yu is designed to be a team fighter overall and to always constantly be in combat. So, to be successful at Guan Yu, you will want to always be in your fight. Now, let's start off with his first ability, Conviction. Guan Yu. Oh, another thing to note also, as Guan Yu, that your basic attacks have an attack chain of 4, with the third attack being a cleave in a 180-degree cone in front of you. Your final strike, however, being a straight line attack, doing all damage to anything that's within 16 feet in front of you. Now, get that out of the way. Your Conviction. Back to your Conviction. This ability will heal you and all of your allies nearby for 50. There's no power scaling for this ability, folks. This is a flat 50. Now, excuse me. Your stacks of Painless, as you can see him with being on fire like that, will grant you an extra 50% to your healing. So if at full stacks, instead of being at 50 healing, it will heal for 75. Each point you put in this ability will increase the healing, max out at 150. Now, this is on a 12-second cooldown, mind you, so keep that in mind. Now, for the one thing you want to know is, actually, that's the only thing you need to know for now. For now, well, actually, there's one thing you need to know. For each friendly god you heal with this ability, it will reduce, not for each god, for just healing a friendly god, doesn't matter how many, it will reduce it by the cooldown by 2 seconds. Next up is Warrior's Will. This was Guan Yu's main mobility ability and damage. Well, I wouldn't say it's primary damage ability, but it does deal damage. He uses all targets nearby that he dashes through and applies a slow that lasts for 2 seconds. A 20% slow, mind you. Now, it will deal 80 damage plus 60% of your physical power and scaling. The thing to note that is that if you hit an enemy god with this, it will reduce the cooldown by 2 seconds. Now, if you hit an enemy god, when you hit this ability with full stacks of Painless, it will double the slow to 40% slow. Next up, the one thing you want to know is this is your primary dash, your primary escape, and your primary initiation ability. And that's what you want to be using to get in and out of your fights. Now, Taolu Assault is his third ability. And what this does, it causes him to spin his pole arm and damage anything in front of him. I think it's about a 15-20 foot range in front of him, with a 5 foot radius. So, no, 30 range. Now, see that? 30 range. Anyway, 30 feet range. Anyways, this will deal 15 damage per hit and will hit for a maximum of every 0.3 seconds for 3 seconds. So it will hit for a maximum of 10 times. I believe. It's your 0.3, 0.6, 0.9/3. That's about 10 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yep. So it's 10 times, as I stated. Now, for each hit you are dealing 15 plus 20% of your physical power damage. Now, oh, and I forgot to mention that Warrior's Will max out. If you put points into it, will max out at 300 damage plus 60%. 300 plus 60% of your physical power's damage. Now, for Taolu Assault, it will max out once you put enough points into it. I mean, when you max it out, it will max out at each point you put into it. It will increase the damage it does. Not only that, this ability will also shred protections from your opponent from each enemy hit, stealing the protections from them and giving it to Guan Yu. Stacking up 3 times. You will gain 2 protection, and at the first level, you will gain 2 protections per stack. Now, for each now, if you hit with this enemy guy with this with a max stack of Painless, it will increase the protection stolen to 3 per stack, and this the duration will last for 5 seconds, refreshing every time you hit someone with it. So, maxing out, and if you put points in this, it will increase the max out at the 55 plus 20% of your physical power's damage, and 10 stacks as 10 physical protection stolen per stack, with 15 protection stolen per stack boosted. And this is on a 15-second cooldown, while your conviction is at a 12-second, and so is your Warrior's Will. Now, that's it. Also to note that while you're using this ability, you're immune to knockbacks during the duration of the ability. Your final ability is Cavalry's Charge. You will basically mount a horse for a short duration, and during this time, 4 seconds to be precise, and during this time you'll be well, actually it's long when you consider the mobile time. And during that 4 seconds, you are immune to any form of crowd control, and you can steer an attack while mounted. Now, with each hit that you when you hit enemies, they would take 85 plus 30% of your physical power damage, and will have a 20% slow. At 25% slow also applied to them. Now, if you hit for each time you hit the same target, you'll gain 20% more additional damage dealt to the same target for each successive hit. Then on the when the duration of the ability ends, you will be dismounted. You will dismount, doing the final amount of damage in a 20-foot radius around you, and stunning everyone you hit with that 20-foot dismount for 1.5 seconds. Now, If you use this ability for now, and this is all on a 90-second cooldown, mind you. Now, for each point you put into it, the only thing you're boosting is the damage, maxing out 205 plus 30% of your physical power per hit, not counting the damage boost. Now, if you boost this ability, I mean, if you have full stacks of a full stack of your painless, this bad boy will be dealing same amount of damage, same amount of slow. I mean, not same amount of slow. It will increase the slow to 40% and increase the stun to 2-second stun instead of 1.5-second stun. Now, the thing to know about this ability is you can cancel early to do the dismount. This is a great way to set up your team fights and prevent an enemy from escaping if you need to finish them off. It is also not great. Good for that. It's also good for saving a teammate. So, remember, multiple variations of how to use this ability. That being said, also to note is while you're mounted, you can control the speed at which at which you travel on that mount by holding forward. Basically, holding forward to your forward movement to increase the speed, and hold back on your movement to go basically slower. You're right, and then you can steer it as well. And that's about it for his abilities. Like I said, straightforward. Pretty simple. That's why he's classified as easy. Very low skill floor, but the skill ceiling on this bad boy can be pretty high, and I'll show you why.
Guan Yu. Our deed shall be written in legend.
I'm about to. Right there. Unfortunately, it's just I have to use this for a moment.
Minions have spawned.
Alright, folks. Let's get started.
Protection is always of use. Look up behind.
Oh yeah, folks. One thing I also forgot to mention with the warrior as well is if you hit an enemy guy, you deal 2. Or I think I've mentioned it before. You get 2 seconds taken off of your cooldown. Now let's see if I can remember for sure if it's based on how many you do. Nope, it's just 1. Only 2 seconds. That's it.
Minions have reached your portal.
Go ahead. Alright, so.
Was it
Huh?
worth it though? Was it?
Yeah, your chain wallet. Now, folks, the thing to note about Guan Yu is he is the way you play him is as simple as knowing what to do, when to do it, how to do it. See, in real life, Guan Yu was a master strategist. That's why he was so successful during the Three Kingdoms War, and why he was highly sought after by all 3 kingdoms. It's because he was a master tactician.
You have slain an enemy.
Let's see, do I get more? Boom. Nope, 2 seconds still, by the looks of it.
This is killing spree. My strength has failed me. An enemy.
Kaboom. Yep, 2 seconds. So it doesn't matter how many guys you hit with your conviction or your warrior's will, it just only reduces about 2 seconds. It used to be for each enemy god, or for each ally you heal, and for each enemy you hit, or for each enemy you hit, an ally you hit with those abilities. It used to reduce the cooldowns of your abilities by 2 seconds per. But now it's just only 2 seconds. That's it. But it's understandable because even as somewhat high as cooldowns can be, 12, 15, and 90, with a full cooldown build, Guan Yu can be a deadly force on the battlefield. You be on your knees praying to him for a quick death, because that's all he's gonna give you. He ain't no saint of peace, that's for sure, folks.
I will not let you fall.
He won't offer you good fortune. He won't help you with the ladies and your love life department. No, he is a saint of war, and this is what he does.
That will do well.
So when you're on your when you pray, you pray to him for being able to outthink, outmaneuver, and outfight your opponent.
You have slain an enemy.
That being said, as I said, he's a master tactician. So to get the most effectiveness out of Guan Yu, even with maximum cooldowns, you have to know when to use your abilities, who to use it on, where to use it on. Boom. If I didn't mention this before, I know I didn't mention this before when I was covering over the Warrior's Will ability. I know I said it was your way of initiating and escaping. Escaping. That's what I mean right there. See, you can use it to put some distance, but remember, it's a very short dash, so it will not put as much distance between you as some other people's other gods' leaps and dashes. So to get the most out, for escaping with this ability, you want to position yourself so that way, who you're running from is, so that way you can use your Warrior's Will to go through who you're running away from. That way, the slow will be applied to them, and you'll be able to get a safe distance away and still be able to outrun them because they'll be affected by the slow and therefore will not be able to chase you as easily as they could before. Now, since you're a warrior, you want to go with a mix of things. Power, you want to go mix with power, and you also want to go mix with some protections because since you're the second one in the front lines, who has to, you're one who jumps in after the Guardian initiates the fight, and sometimes you'll be the ones who be initiated it before the Guardian, because there's certain Guardians who work best when the Warrior initiates first. Capri and Sylvanas being a prime example. Now, in the case where you have to initiate for your Guardian, you want to be able to at least take some of the damage, so that way you don't get deleted instantly off and go to an early grave. This is important. See, like I said, position, boom. Now I can escape faster because even if that Thor wanted to chase me, he was affected by slow. So the only way he was going to be able to chase me down is using his teleport ability. Now, with that being said, now we can go to the next fun part, which is my favorite part.
Protection is always.
Make sure you save your heals for mostly for your teammates. Do not bother using your ability. Don't use your heals only for yourself, because then you're not getting the most out of your heals. You're not getting the cooldown reduction at all. And you're also not helping your team whatsoever, which means, in other words, your team's going to be losing those fights that they could win because you refuse to, because you want to be selfish and refuse to help them out. Remember, this is a team-based game, folks. So, knowing that you can, that your abilities help out the team a lot, is what will make you successful as a Guan Yu. See, and it also helps you pay attention to mini-maps. Always do that. I mean, I've emphasized this enough on the basics of this game, but this will help. And that Soulbreak just should have got out when I got the healing off.
An ally has been slain.
So when it comes to builds, I recommend at least make sure you get, for one thing, is a necessary for definitely for Guan Yu, is you want to get those cooldowns, because if you don't, then you are not going to get anywhere with him, because he's ability heavy. However, I will state that you could also build a little bit of attack speed for him, if you need to. Not a lot, mind you. He's not all attack based guy, but a little bit of attack speed does help you with your ultimate, and allows you to get more swings in your ultimate, and also will allow you to do your cleaves more often.
Define.
Oh, you think you got me with that slow, huh?
I will not let you fall.
Boom! I'm out. Peace, home slice. And since he is a Saint of War, that also allows him to serve as a medic to a certain degree as well. Now I need my next piece, which should probably be... Well, let's see if I can... What can I add for attack speed? I could go with chin size, but I'd rather go with this, because this is what I'm looking forward to. I'm an ability focused god, so I don't need that more so than anything else. Other than that, folks, that's basically it. That's all there is to Guan Yu. Make sure you read the situation. Know you have map awareness. Don't be selfish with your heals.
Minions have reached your portal.
Always use it to help your team. Always help out your teammates whenever you can. See, I got a good chunk of number of swings right there. Just
You have slain an enemy.
now, you see how that worked, folks? I got.
An enemy has been slain. It is not immortal. Killing spree.
All right, I need to go back.
Double kill. Bears down upon you. Bathe in the glow.
At least don't be selfish. See that? I was kind of selfish with my heals, but here's the thing. You can be somewhat selfish with your heals, but make sure you got your full cooldowns first before being selfish with the heals. Other than that, until you get your cooldowns fully maxed out, stick to saving your heals for healing up your teammates.
You have slain an enemy.
Unless you absolutely have to heal yourself to live. See that? Boom.
An enemy has been slain.
And see, I was saying, all in all, that's it. So make sure those are your key summons. Since he's a strategist, read the situation. Help your teammates pick up kills. Make sure you apply your heal when needed. Read the situation. Know what needs to be done, where it needs to be done. So tactical awareness is always a must with Guan Yu. Don't be selfish with your heals. That's all there is to it. To be a successful Guan Yu.
I will not let you fall. Double kill. The heat bears down upon you.
Okay, yeah, he's up a lot of health for that nonsense. And as always, as I stated multiple times before, always build again. Always counter build what you're fighting against.
Double kissed.
If you don't,
Excellent.
your team's going to suffer for it. So remember that. Guan Yu is also an ability-based god.
Minions have reached your portal.
So make sure you got the cooldowns. And also note that even though he's an ability-based god and his abilities come off cooldown exceptionally quick, always remember to do this one thing. And that one thing, folks, is to counter build.
An ally has been slain.
Because if you don't,
Has been slain. You have slain an enemy.
then your team's going to suffer for it.
Minions have reached your portal.
See this? Now the Hercules ain't going to heal because I was smart enough to get counter heal.
Has been slain.
Kaboom. Jealous, as the great Never Kick would say. And after all that, I'd like to thank you folks for watching. Please feel free to subscribe and like if you enjoy if you enjoy it. Also, feel free to look for, if you have any more questions concerning how to play this god that I may have left out by accident, because sometimes I tend to forget things. Feel free to hit me up in the comment section below, or you can always hit me up on Twitch, because I do broadcast there. You can find me at twitch.tv/Scalebrave. I'll link the description below. With that, game on and be excellent to each other.